Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Pfaff Quilt Expression 720. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the ribbon stitches. Now, let's find those ribbon stitches. So we start out by going to Menu, then we go to this little oval down here. We page ahead until we find something that looks like ribbon stitches. There it is. Okay, so we have 2 pages of these. There's 15 different ribbon stitches that you can do. Now, let's see what those look like. In a different video, I showed you how to do the triple ribbon stitch, and that is these guys here. So you can do an 1/8 inch wide ribbon stitch on up to a 1/4 inch wide. That's a different video, but that's okay. I'm going to show you the basics of ribbon stitching. Now, what they look like, they can look different ways. They can look like this, where you have 2 ribbons of different colors of the 1/8 inch. You can also use 1/4 inch wide ribbons like this. This is a sheer ribbon, and notice I use the same color of thread as ribbon, so that because the ribbon actually hides the stitches, so you want ribbon that's the same color or the same color as the fabric. That would work as well. Then this stitch right here is using 2 different ribbons, but one is stitched a little bit narrower up here and a little bit wider here. That's this one right here. Some of these other stitches have extra little embellishments at the edges. Okay, and then you want to have, it recommends that, okay, let's say we've got this one right here. It recommends that you use a stabilizer. Now, stabilizer is something like this. It helps keep our stitches flat. And you can see with the zigzag here, it's nice and flat as long as we're on the stabilizer. Here, not so much. So if you're using quilting cotton or something of similar weight, make sure you use a stabilizer. This happens to be a tearaway stabilizer. Okay, in this video, I'm using denim, and denim, this nice beefy denim, doesn't really need a stabilizer, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so let's start out with a single ribbon stitch. This is going to just take a single ribbon. I'm going to use this yellow ribbon right here. Now, to set your machine up, make sure that you have this on, so push the button until that comes on. You want it so that when it rolls to a stop, it'll roll to a stop with the needle down and raise the presser foot just a little bit to the pivot position. And then you want to make sure that these are all off. So if any of them are on, turn them off. Okay. It's pretty easy setup. Okay, so I'm going to put the presser foot down, and you want to start out with no ribbon and just sew the first little bit. So I like using the start-stop button. It gives me my little extra embellishments, and see, needle down, and the foot is up. Now, which way do we put that ribbon in? If you notice this little line right here, that means we're going to put our ribbon right next to the needle at that angle. Do your second stitch, comes across like that, needle down. We're ready to fold the ribbon over and put it underneath the foot like that, right up to the needle like this. And also make sure that your fabric hasn't turned, because it will pivot on that needle. There we go. And then it's just a matter of folding your ribbon back and forth until you get the length that you want it to be. So I'm going to just use this up a little bit more. It's really a nice way to embellish home decorating projects or garments. This would be a nice way to embellish like the edge of a pillow or something like that. And nice thing about this is like you're creating a trim while sewing it. Plus the trim is nice and sturdy. It can be washed along with your fabric. As long as the ribbon's washable, then the entire project is washable. Now at this point, I'm going to just stop, cut my thread, and take that out of there so we can take a look at things. Remember, as long as you have that pivot function on, you can actually stop and turn it and take a look at it, make sure everything's looking the way it should. So That is a nice way to embellish with a single ribbon. I could also have used a narrower ribbon that works well. So this is an example of using well, it's a sheer ribbon, but this is an example of using 2 ribbons here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first of all, we're going to get 2 different ribbons. It's just what I happen to have on hand. And we're going to get into, so that was a single ribbon. There's several that are single. I'm going to get into this double ribbon one right there. Now that looks a little bit different than the other stitch, obviously. So we're going to start out the same way. Notice I'm holding my top thread. That's just to kind of help keep it from being pulled down in the machine. This is just good practice in general when you're sewing. So that first one, it stops. Now which way do we put that ribbon? That's according to this first line of stitching that goes diagonally. So that's how we're going to put our ribbon under the foot and right up next to the needle. Hold that there. Make sure our fabric is straight. There we go. The next one is going to be crossing that right up to the needle. Like this. Same angle. So you see this one's right here. Okay, let's go like that. Now, what do we do next? It's important to realize that this is the one that's going to be crossing over. So whenever you have a ribbon on the right-hand side, that's the one you cross over. Like this. And right up next to the needle, pull it so it's nice and firm. You don't have to pull hard, just so that there's no extra ribbon on that side. Now we cross over the one that's in back over the one that's in front, like this. And of course right up next to the needle. Make sure that it's not pulled back like this and not having a gap. It should just touch the needle and be nice and taut on the left side. Okay, so at this point, any ribbon that's on the right gets pulled under the foot, folded like that, and pulled under the foot right up next to the needle. It's going to take a little bit of trial and error to make sure that you are doing it right, but hopefully this video is helping you to learn how to do it. So I'm going to do it a couple more rounds here so that you get a feel for what's happening. Remember, ribbon on the right. If there's any ribbon on the right, that goes right over here. That's for double ribbon. It's a little bit different for the single and the triple, but the double ribbon is how you work it. Okay, lift this up. I'm going to just stitch this one down and then we'll call it good. Okay, I'm going to just take that out of there. And of course you can do a locking stitch at the end if you want. This is what it's going to look like. It's a beautiful stitch that sort of is a spiral type of stitch with the ribbons. You can add the embellishments on the side here. Let's see what we've got for embellishments in the center, like that. There's a little star, a little cross mark, and these little things at the side. That works out well too. This one's kind of a funny one. It's like a little person sitting there on the corner of the ribbon as it's turning. It's kind of a fun one. So there's a lot you can do with this, and as you can see, it's easy and makes a fabulous finish on stuff. So if you found this video to be helpful and fun, give us a thumbs up, and if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. Remember, I have another video on how to do the 3 ribbon, the triple ribbon stitch. So there are a lot of other videos that we have on this machine and on other machines here on our Montevilla YouTube channel. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.